The Red Sea, once known primarily as a crucial artery for global trade, has now turned into a battleground where international commerce, regional rivalries, and military power intersect. Since late 2023, Houthi forces have significantly stepped up their attacks on both commercial and military vessels, posing a serious threat to one of the world's busiest and most vital maritime corridors. In response, the United States has launched a broad and sustained military campaign, mobilizing advanced naval and air assets to counter the threat and ensure the security of international shipping routes. Tensions reached a boiling point in March 2025 when the U.S. unleashed a major wave of coordinated air and naval strikes against Houthi targets in Yemen, a decisive moment in an already volatile standoff. So how did things escalate to this point? What exactly is unfolding in the Red Sea, and where might it all lead? In this video, we'll unpack the key events that have shaped the conflict, examine the military strategies and technologies being deployed, and explore the potential next steps, including the possible role of powerful assets like the B-52 bomber. Could it become part of this operation? Let's find out. The Houthis, backed by Iran and deeply entrenched in northern Yemen, have evolved far beyond their origins as a local rebel group. After seizing the capital Sana'a in 2014, they've steadily built up a formidable arsenal. Today, their capabilities include ballistic missiles, advanced drones, naval mines, and long-range cruise missiles, all of which pose serious threats to maritime security. In late 2023, as tensions in the Middle East surged following the outbreak of the Israel-Hamas war, the Houthis began targeting vessels in the Red Sea. Initially, they aimed their attacks at Israel, but the scope of their operations quickly expanded. In December 2023, the Norwegian oil tanker Strinda was hit by a missile, an attack the Houthis claimed responsibility for citing the ship's alleged links to Israel. That incident marked a turning point. Civilian commercial vessels were no longer collateral damage. They had become deliberate targets. From that moment, the attacks came fast and often. By the end of 2024, there had been nearly 200 confirmed strikes, and by April 2025, that number had surpassed 250. Ships flagged from all over the world, carrying oil, grain, manufactured goods, and other vital cargo, were now in the crosshairs. Insurance premiums on Red Sea routes soared. Some shipping companies rerouted vessels around Africa, and global supply chains began to feel the pinch. Naturally, the United States couldn't sit on the sidelines. In December 2023, a dramatic moment underscored the stakes when the USS Mason, a guided missile destroyer, shot down a Houthi drone approaching its position in the Red Sea. It was the second such interception that month. Using its advanced Aegis combat system and SM-2 missiles, the Mason defended itself and its crew from a potentially deadly attack. These systems are designed to detect, track, and neutralize aerial threats with precision, and they've become critical tools in this increasingly hostile environment. That same month, Washington launched Operation Prosperity Guardian, a multinational maritime security initiative aimed at protecting shipping in the Red Sea and surrounding areas. More than 20 countries joined the coalition, including the UK, France, Bahrain, and Canada. Think of it as a global neighborhood watch, but with destroyers, frigates, and advanced air defense systems. These warships now patrol key shipping lanes daily, ready to intercept missiles, drones, or fast boats launched by the Houthis. Surveillance aircraft and drones, like the MQ-9 Reaper, keep a constant eye in the sky, identifying threats and directing precision strikes when necessary. Despite these defensive efforts, the attacks continued. So, in January 2024, the United States and the United Kingdom began conducting targeted airstrikes against Houthi launch sites. These were initially measured responses, designed to degrade the group's ability to carry out attacks without escalating the situation too quickly. But by March 2025, the calculus had changed. The White House, now under President Trump, authorized a sweeping and sustained air campaign against the Houthis, Dubbed Operation Rough Rider, this wasn't just a series of warning shots. It was an attempt to systematically dismantle the Houthis' offensive capabilities. Operation Rough Rider launched with intense airstrikes on March 15, 2025, beginning with key military targets in Sana'a. Civilian reports indicated dozens of casualties, and CENTCOM confirmed strikes against weapons storage sites, command centers, and suspected leadership compounds. Over the following weeks, the campaign expanded to other Houthi strongholds including Taiz, Hudaida, and Sa'ada. U.S. aircraft hit launch sites, radar installations, and underground bunkers, while intelligence units tracked high-ranking leaders believed to be orchestrating the attacks. By early May, the operation had reached a critical tempo. U.S. forces had conducted over 1,000 strikes, using a mix of precision-guided bombs and cruise missiles. High-value targets were eliminated, and CENTCOM reported a significant reduction in the Houthis' operational reach. It reported that Houthi missile and drone attacks ballistic missile launches dropped by 69% and drone attacks by 55%. To pull off this level of sustained assault, the U.S. deployed some of its most advanced assets. B-2 Spirit stealth bombers were sent to Diego Garcia in late March, allowing them to fly long-range missions into Yemeni airspace. These bombers, nearly invisible to radar, dropped GBU-57 bunker busters, massive bombs designed to destroy fortified underground targets. Supporting the broader campaign were carrier-based FA-18 Super Hornets, operating from vessels like the USS Harry S. Truman. These versatile jets carried out strike missions, provided close air support, and flew air-to-air combat patrols to maintain control of the skies. Meanwhile, guided missile destroyers such as the USS Carney and USS Laboon launched Tomahawk cruise missiles from positions in the Red Sea, striking high-value targets deep inside Yemen, hundreds of miles inland. To counter smaller, fast-moving threats like drone swarms and speedboats, U.S. forces deployed APKWS laser-guided rockets. These systems upgrade standard 2.75-inch Hydra 70 rockets into precision-guided munitions, offering an affordable and effective solution for close-range defense. At roughly $35,000 per round, APKWS provides a much more economical option for dealing with mass-produced, low-cost aerial threats, balancing firepower with cost efficiency on the modern battlefield. Meanwhile, Reaper drones provided real-time surveillance and quick-response strike capability against moving or newly identified threats. And now, we are getting to our question regarding the potential use of B-52s. In early May, open-source flight tracking data spotted several of these long-range bombers heading toward Diego Garcia, sparking speculation that they might join Operation Rough Rider. The B-52 Stratofortress isn't stealthy like the B-2, but it can carry a much larger payload, including cruise missiles, precision bombs, and potentially even emerging hypersonic systems. While the Pentagon hasn't confirmed whether the B-52s are part of Rough Rider or simply part of a routine bomber task force rotation, their presence in the region signals that the U.S. is prepared to escalate further if necessary. That leads us to the question on everyone's mind: what comes next? Could even heavier weapons, like the Moab, the so-called mother of all bombs, enter the equation? The Moab is the largest non-nuclear bomb in the U.S. arsenal, capable of flattening entire complexes and devastating bunker networks. But it's rarely used, mainly due to its massive blast radius and the risk of civilian casualties. If intelligence confirms a high-value target that's deeply entrenched and isolated, the Moab could be considered. But so far, there's no indication it's in play. Then, almost as suddenly as the escalation began, came a surprising turn. On May 6, 2025, President Trump announced an immediate halt to U.S. airstrikes in Yemen. According to the White House, this pause came after the Houthis signaled a willingness to stop targeting commercial and military vessels in the Red Sea. The decision was presented as a diplomatic victory and a step toward de-escalation. but the timing raised eyebrows, especially since on the same day, Israeli jets struck Sana'a airport following a Houthi missile strike on Israel's international airport. The US pause wasn't coordinated with Israel, and there are already signs of tension between the two allies over the differing strategies. An agreement brokered with help from Oman outlined a ceasefire focused on ensuring safe passage through the Red Sea and Bab al-Mandeb. The Houthis reportedly agreed to halt attacks on shipping, although their public statements remain ambiguous. They emphasized continued support for Gaza and stopped short of confirming a long-term commitment to peace. From November 2023 to January 2025, the Houthis had targeted more than 100 vessels, causing massive disruptions and costing the US over $750 million in munitions and logistics. The air campaign involved over 2,000 munitions and destroyed a large portion of Houthi military infrastructure. Whether that's enough to keep the shipping lanes safe remains to be seen. So, what does this all mean? The Red Sea conflict is a complex blend of regional rivalries, global trade stakes, and modern military strategy. It's a cautionary tale about how non-state actors with state-level weapons can challenge the global order. Operation Prosperity Guardian has shown the importance of international cooperation, while Operation Rough Rider demonstrated what a full-scale, modern air campaign looks like in today's era of hybrid warfare. But the key question is still unanswered. Has the threat truly been neutralized, or is this just a temporary pause before the next flare-up? With powerful weapons still on standby and diplomatic tensions simmering, what happens in the Red Sea next may have ripple effects far beyond the Middle East. So, do you think this tension will really end? Or is it just a small part of Trump's bigger strategy? That's for now. See you next time.